Right now, I'm picking LeBron James over Michael Jordan.
Nobody could ever be greater than Michael Jordan, right? Okay, and then you turn around, but in your era, LeBron James sitting there, he holding every single basketball record.
After years of Isiah Thomas praising LeBron James as the greatest ever and constantly stacking him against Michael Jordan, word is MJ finally snapped, and his response may have shifted the entire conversation. It all traces back to January 8, 2026, when Isiah stepped into the FanDuel TV studio with Michelle Beadle, DeMarcus Cousins, and Chandler Parsons. What began as casual era talk turned explosive when his comments went viral within hours. And now, with Jordan breaking his silence, the debate isn't just sports talk anymore, it's legacy on the line.
Our era is considered to be the golden era. This is what I don't understand about your era, right? You guys are playing with arguably the greatest player to ever play. And excuse me when I say this, but y'all treat him like he ain't
Thomas
nothing.
was aiming his remarks at today's NBA stars, challenging why they keep placing Michael Jordan on a pedestal while sharing the court with LeBron James, and he didn't hold back there.
Y'all go back and say our era was the greatest. Oh, Michael Jordan was the greatest. Nobody could ever be greater than Michael Jordan, right? Okay, and then you turn around, but in your era, LeBron James sitting there, he holding every single basketball record. I mean, every single one of them. And you're looking at a Kevin Durant and you're looking at a Steph Curry. But then when y'all say who the greatest, y'all talk about the guy that gave you some shoes and, gave you some warm-ups.
The comment about shoes and warm-ups was clearly aimed at Jordan's Nike empire. Thomas implied that Jordan's brand power often influences people's opinions more than his on-court accomplishments. Michelle Beadle admitted her preference for Jordan was tied to nostalgia, saying, "That's what made me fall in love with basketball." Thomas has been voicing this perspective for years. Back in 2013 on ESPN 1000 radio, he argued that LeBron might actually be the superior athlete, noting he's bigger, faster, stronger. By 2018, his stance became even firmer on Get Up, asserting that LeBron James is a far better basketball player than Michael Jordan.
There's Kareem, and then there's a debate, in terms of Jordan and LeBron. And on any given night, who do you like? For me, I look at, the total body of work, what LeBron James is as a basketball player. And if I had to pick one over the other, right now I'm picking LeBron James over Michael Jordan, because Jordan would beat you scoring, but this guy beats you at everything. He rebounds, he assists, he gets everybody involved, and he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger.
Isiah Thomas isn't just talking stats, he's telling a story decades in the making. Sitting in the studio, he points to LeBron's staggering totals, 40, 474 playoff points, unmatched longevity, and a record book stacked with firsts. Jordan's 30, one career scoring average. Thomas dismisses it, insisting cumulative dominance matters more. But this isn't only analysis, it's a grudge with roots that stretch back to the late 80s. Thomas led the Bad Boys Pistons, a team defined by grit and the infamous Jordan rules, which physically and mentally tested Chicago's superstar. Detroit eliminated the Bulls 3 straight years, capped with back-to-back championships. When Chicago finally swept Detroit in 1991, Thomas walked off the court without shaking hands, a slight Jordan never forgave. Add a rookie all-star freeze out in 1985 and decades of perceived slights, and you've got a rivalry that transcends basketball. Fast forward to 2026, Thomas frames LeBron as the ultimate record holder while subtly reminding the world that Jordan's empire was once challenged and that history is complicated. The Last Dance only amplified it, with Thomas demanding an apology for being called out publicly, reigniting old tensions. This isn't just a debate about points, averages, or rings. It's a clash of legacy, pride, and unresolved history. Every stat Isiah cites carries the weight of decades of battles, grudges, and triumphs. In the end, the question isn't just who's better, it's whether history remembers the game, the numbers, or the grudges that define it.
Now, truth be told, I beat Magic and Kareem, and I beat Larry Bird and his Celtics. Michael Jordan never beat those teams. In the 90s, in the 90s, Michael Jordan beat, he beat Barkley, he beat Karl Malone, he beat Stockton, He beat Gary Payton. He beat Sean Kemp.
Thomas doesn't just speak as a commentator. He speaks from history, from combat, from the trenches of the NBA's fiercest playoff battles. He frames a statistical case for LeBron James, pointing to verifiable dominance over 42-575 versus Bucks, 11-7-60 assists, and 11-0-28 rebounds. Jordan fifth all-time in scoring with 32-292, 5-6, 33 assists, and 6-6-72 rebounds. The disparity reflects not weakness, but career length. LeBron has played 80 games across 23 seasons. Jordan only won 0-72 and 15. Thomas argues total production matters. The player who contributes more across time has greater impact. Yet this argument carries the weight of history. Thomas faced Jordan 65 times. His teams won 36, including a 16-6 playoff edge. His bad boys Pistons delayed Jordan's first championship for 3 straight years with the infamous Jordan rules, a defense designed to physically disrupt Chicago's superstar. That rivalry climaxed in May 1991 when the Bulls swept Detroit 4-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals, but Thomas and teammates walked off the court without shaking hands. Jordan never forgave that slight, calling it disrespectful in the last dance. The tension didn't end there. In 1992, Thomas was omitted from the Olympic Dream Team. Sources speculate Jordan influenced the decision. Thomas believes personal animosity played a role. Whether true or not, the exclusion added fuel to a decades-long grudge. The public reaction is polarized. Critics call Thomas bitter, claiming old grudges distort his view. Supporters argue he's uniquely qualified to speak, having guarded Jordan, devised strategies to stop him, and played in some of the most intense playoff series in NBA history. His perspective blends firsthand experience with statistical analysis, giving the debate depth beyond media sound bites. Context is everything. Jordan never beat the Lakers' dynasty of Magic and Kareem or eliminated Larry Bird's Celtics. By the time he claimed his first title in 1991, those dynasties had aged. Thomas' Pistons were the true barrier, a team that forced Jordan to elevate, adapt, and eventually triumph. Their battles shaped careers, legacies, and the very definition of competitive greatness. So when Isiah Thomas sits in a studio and compares LeBron and Jordan, he isn't just weighing numbers, he's revisiting a rivalry that began with rookie snubs, playoff brutality, and perceived disrespect. His argument is as much about history, context, and experience as it is about points, assists, and rebounds. In the end, the debate challenges more than who is the greatest. It asks, how do we measure greatness? By peak brilliance or sustained dominance? By individual skill or cumulative contribution? By statistics or by legacy earned through struggle? The story of Thomas, Jordan, and LeBron reminds us that greatness isn't just a number, it's a narrative shaped by history, rivalry, and the moments that refuse to be forgotten.
Jordan would beat you scoring, but this guy beats you at everything. He rebounds, he assists, he gets everybody involved, and he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger.
Isiah Thomas doesn't dispute Michael Jordan's scoring dominance. He acknowledges the 10 scoring titles, the career 30, 1 points per game, and a 33. 4 playoff average that still leads the NBA. But Thomas frames greatness differently. Cumulative dominance across multiple categories matters more than peak brilliance in a single metric. And on that front, LeBron James shines. He's the all-time leader in playoff points, playoff assists, and playoff rebounds. He's appeared in 292 playoff games, more than Jordan's 179. Across almost every cumulative category, LeBron eclipses Jordan. Thomas argues other sports follow this logic. Usain Bolt holds world records. Serena Williams dominates Grand Slams. Tom Brady leads in passing yards in Super Bowls. Yet basketball debates the GO8 even when LeBron holds the records. His answer: nostalgia and commercial influence. Yes, the shoes, the branding, the era of perception, shape, and opinion. The debate isn't purely statistical, it's personal, steeped in decades of tension. Jordan and Thomas rivalry stretches back to the mid-1980s. Rookie Jordan allegedly experienced a freeze out in the 1985 All-Star Game, sowing early distrust. Then came the Pistons' Jordan rule as Detroit physically dominated Chicago from 1988-1990, delaying Jordan's first title and crafting playoff nightmares. When the Bulls finally swept Detroit in 1991, Thomas and teammates walked off without shaking hands, a slight Jordan has never forgiven. Thomas claims it was how the team felt. Jordan called it disrespectful. In The Last Dance, the 1992 Olympic Dream Team added insult. Thomas, a 2-time champ and 12-time All-Star, was left off, which he believes was Jordan influenced, though selectors deny it. That grievance lingers, fueling Thomas' advocacy for LeBron. Jordan's public approach is measured. He consistently avoids declaring a Jewite, citing era differences, rule changes, three-point evolution, and load management. He has praised LeBron's skills, stating in 2023, after LeBron broke Kareem's scoring record, "Congratulations, an amazing accomplishment." And in 2025 remarked, "LeBron could play in any era, yet he never concedes the Go8 title," leaving debates alive while allowing his 6 championships, 5 MVPs, and 10 scoring titles to speak for themselves. Jordan's silence is strategic. Engagement would risk amplifying Thomas' critiques.
Well, first in this conversation, Isiah, he prefaced it by saying Kareem's the best all time. Then he went into
I'm not going.
Well, he got it to tier 2. And I thought Isiah was sounding salty, even though he's right.
The Go8 debate rages on, and the perspectives are as divided as ever. Analysts like Sharp slip when even calling LeBron the Jordan shows how deep Jordan's benchmark remains. Coaches like Stan Van Gundy give LeBron a subtle edge, while commentators like Colin Cowherd balance LeBron's stats with Jordan's cultural dominance. Former players who faced both Stackhouse, Shaq, Hughes, Jones, and Arenas often favor LeBron's versatility, playmaking, and longevity. Draymond Green calls his R.A. Summe flawless, and anonymous polls show younger NBA players increasingly siding with LeBron. Yet Jordan's 6 championships, killer instinct, and defensive accolades make him untouchable in clutch perception. Analysts and fans keep circling the same question: greatness measured by cumulative achievement or peak dominance. Isiah Thomas leans heavily on stats, longevity, and era perspective for LeBron, claiming numbers vindicate him while Jordan's brand inflates myth. Jordan's silence, calculated or not, lets legacy speak for itself, leaving the debate alive for decades. In the end, both men define eras, but the true question isn't who's better, it's how we measure greatness and whether history favors impact or numbers.